for you today, people. I got this from Yahoo News, just sitting there strolling around, and it brings up this question I'm going to ask later on at the end. But let's check out the story, okay? Let's check this. Boom, boom. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Dre's daughter, 38, reveals that she's homeless and living out of her car. So she goes on in the article and says that she's Dr. Dre's eldest daughter and she's living out of a rented SUV. She's working. She's a DoorDash driver. She's taking care of her children while her children stay with kids, friends, and she's also had other job that pays $15 an hour as as a assembler at a warehouse. So, and she tries to say that I got paid $15 an hour as a assembler at a warehouse, and I'm trying to keep my head above water. I've been in debt for a while. So in the article, she goes on to say, that you know, that he cut off supporting her in January of 2020. Let that sink in. January of 2020, he stopped supporting her, giving her financial support. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, and I'm not going to tell him how to take care of his kids. It's no problem, no biggie, nothing to me. No, I have no bust about it. But for me, being a father of four, if my kids need my help, yes, I'm going to help them as much as possible. I'm going to go out my way to help them as much as possible. But I would like I would like to say this though. She's 38 years old, and he was helping her up until 2020, January 2020. At what point do we as parents cut our kids off to let them stand on their own 2 feet? Because honestly, she I don't understand why she can't. She doesn't have a better job. Doesn't didn't do manage her money better. I don't know what the problem was. It's not my problem. It's not my place to sit there and judge her for what she's done. But I do have to say this though. She can't manage money. She made some bad investments somewhere, and it came back to bite her in the butt. And that's crazy. That is real crazy. But you got people going crazy blaming Dr. Dre for being a bum for his daughter being a bum and say he should give her more money. I'm like, dude, if she's been freaking, he just cut her off last year, and he was giving her a certain amount of money every month, taking care of her, taking care of this, but he and all of a sudden he just said, okay, enough's enough. You're about to be 40 years old. How the heck are you going to stand on your feet when I'm gone? You expect me just to pass over the inheritance to you? That's what you waiting on for me to freaking go out and go down and die? Then you're gonna like, oh, I got all this money, but you still gonna end up having to support yourself. Now, if you can't manage the money that he's giving you now, what are you gonna do with the money that you inherit from him once he passes? So it's not just young people out there that can't manage money. There's some old heads out there that can't manage money. Me, I didn't learn how to manage my money until maybe I turned like 30. That's when I really started managing my money a little bit better. That's when it sort of kicked in. I was like, I gotta start putting some away for a rainy day. Paying my stuff off. Getting myself together. But eventually, people, we can't allow our parents are not supposed to take care of us for the rest of our lives. They're not supposed to. You shouldn't expect your parents to take care of you for the rest of your life. You need to get out there and get it on your own. Get out there and do what you need to do to make yourself a success. Stop leaning on your parents for when you get in trouble. Oh, I spent too much on this when I can't pay my rent. I'll just go hit my mom up. No, I'll go hit my dad up. Oh, dad'll give me. And parents, if you're doing that to your kids, stop it. If they're over the age of freaking 30, and you're still freaking paying their rent and light bills and for their cars and all this stuff. Got it. Your prerogative. Do it. But what you gonna do? What they gonna do when you're gone? They gotta stand. They gotta regrow up sometime. They gotta stand on their own 2 feet sometime. Prepare them for when you're. You need to prepare them for when you're not around, and you gotta go on with your life. I'm like, I don't have any. Me personally, I think Dre's doing a good thing. He did it. He basically had her allowance, gave her allowance for everything. He paid her rent, gave her allowance, and just cut her off because she it was time it's time to let go. It was way past the time to let her go. You know, you got to stand on your 2 feet, people. You got to learn know when to let your kids stand on their own 2 feet and get their life together. Because if you keep letting your kids get over on you, it's like, understand, it's your child. Keep letting your kids get over on you. They're never going to learn how to manage money. They're never going to learn how to keep money. They're never going to learn how to save money. And that's what I'm trying to teach my kids now. Do it now while you're still young in your 20s, because all of them are still in their 20s. When they start reaching 30 and start thinking about, well, man, I'm really tired of working. What money did you put back? So, Dre, good looking out. Do what you need to do. Handle your business. But I think it's your daughter's doing this, trying to get her story out there so she can get some money and make you feel bad, guilt trip you into paying her stuff. You caught a bad break. That's it. You had money. That's it. Till next time. Peace.